ReefDudes is sponsored by Ecotech Marine and Bulk Reef Supply.
Welcome.
Welcome. So we're at ACI Aquaculture. Chris, want to give us a grand tour?
Good to have you here finally, my friend.
Finally.
You know, it's going to be a good time. You know, we're just going to show you guys around, show you what we have, show you the wild coral systems, and we'll show you around the farm.
Awesome.
So,
see the grand tour?
Yeah, well, you're right here. We're in between the two wild coral systems. This is where all of our imports come into. It's 2,000 gallons on each system. Then our next system over is the frag system. I say chop shop because it is wild corals chopped up into pieces. And then we have the main aquaculture release tank where everything goes through UV before it goes into there. So that is where we keep all of our aquacultured corals. And we've got a lot to show you guys. I mean, I didn't get to turn the blues on the acro tank, but that tank is chock full of acros.
Yep.
We got a bunch of them in on Wednesday. We've got the next tank over is we keep euphyllias in here, bubble corals. All of our trackies come into here, the cinerinas and endophillias and acanthophillias as well. We've got the very unique and my holy grail of corals I finally got my hands on, the branching galaxias.
Very nice.
Only 3 pieces I know of in that color form in the United States, well, other than the 2 that I sold. Then this tank here just kind of became all of our euphyllias. Not all of them, as you can see, there was some over there, but this is a lot of Australian euphyllias here. There's a massive amount of torches, a bunch of Indonesian elegans corals, some frog spawns, and some cristadas.
Beauty.
So this here is where
Tons of gorgeous corals.
all of the uniqueness that is the kind of the stuff that is higher dollar gets put into this pack out table, which we never use for a pack out table because I'm always hoarding corals in it. These are all of our Australian elegans corals. This stuff here in this tank, and this tank, and this one here, the cubes, it all just arrived on Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
We've got some of the most amazing ganies in here right now.
Yeah, I'm very sad I cannot.
And I'm really geeking out over all the micromuses that came in as well. Favites, micromusa, it's sometimes hard to tell the difference. That's all Amanda's corals for her tank.
Awesome. Nice selection.
So yeah, very nice selection. She's got an eye for
taste.
acanthos. This is one of our pack out tables that we always use for packing. We've got a ton of ganies, microlords, Favia favites. This is probably the largest hellfire anemone I've ever seen in my life. It's about 1 foot across. It's not the most attractive thing, but it's not something you want to ever touch too.
Pretty cool though.
Some bubble tips that we just got in. These are wild. Oh gosh, I wish I'd have shut all the flow off for you to see. More wild corals, some jumbo ganies, some lobos, long tentacle plates, mazes over in the corner, dragon souls, lots of plate corals, more ganies, more lobos. I mean, we are just chock full of corals.
You are packed. Like, this is a lot of corals. And
I actually could use another shipment or 2 because we're not completely stuffed.
We haven't even left the little row yet.
Yes, I know. Then we get down here, Devin, and this is the Monty farm. We have all of our Monties that we've had for the last decade and a half isolated because if anybody's ever known anything about Monties, you're trying to farm them. If you think you got rid of Monty nudies, you're lying to yourself because they're like a pain in the rear end. We have them under control, but we have pests. Pest control naturally is the best way that we've found, and it's less stress on the corals than dipping.
So what's the best one? Yellow chorus is
West
one I
Coast
used to use,
Florida,
but-
peppermint shrimp, and yellow chorus, 6 lines, plenty of other wrasses, and we very rarely see them. I don't know if we'll ever eradicate them completely, but we try. The corals that we know are pest free, they go into the new farm, which is over here. This is the newest and greatest farm system we have. It's 5,000 gallons. There's 4 1,000 gallon vats and a 1,000 gallon sump. Okay, I lied, I'm sorry. It's 4,500 gallons, the sump's only half full.
That's fair. Still a good size.
One of these tanks is strictly euphyllias, fimbriphyllias. This one here is a smorgasbord of ganies, turbinarias, montes, acros, Favia favites, and chalice. I mean, you name it, this is like a big old
These are big
smorgasbord.
tanks too.
They're 12 by 6, they're massive. I mean, all my guys hate me because I'm tall enough and I can reach all the way
actually
across.
reach the center.
But half the employees are like, can you reach that for me? I'm like, get your midget stool out. You know, we have fun in here. You know, it's they're always like, Chris, help me get this tray out. But these are some Ghanies here that we farm. I mean, so many pumps to turn off.
Yeah.
It take me a while. We should have prepared before we did this, Devin.
I know, it happened last minute. Got to work with what you got.
But I mean, my sumps, they're loaded full of corals.
This is the sump.
This is the sump.
Yeah.
So we have our Bauer Banky farm, our zoanthid farm, Ghani farm, Chalice farm, and some random, like very large acros that.
Well, I love the full, this quote unquote sump, which is just another coral tank.
Well, I call the sump behind the rock wall.
Yeah.
Which is really all you need, but when you have this kind of volume, having something this large, if the water, if the power goes off,
you need the
this
headroom.
will fill up and overflow a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. It's a little bit too much water going up front. And then because I have the addiction with corals, I got a little too much water in the sump. It should probably be about an inch lower.
Yeah.
And if you look real close, the first baby torch coral over there, zoom, you see it?
I think so, yeah.
In the rock, it's the little piece of gold in the crack right there. That's born here at ACI. Is there more? I don't know. I haven't had a chance to pull all the racks and pull everything to see if we got more, but we had a torch spawning.
That's cool.
I would guess it was probably in February,
Yep.
which is usually about when torches are known to spawn. So really, really cool.
That's awesome.
We're learning how to frag Bauer Bankies with a special technique. It works extremely well. There's some gaps in the area. We did lose probably 10% of them, but it's now learning.
Now you know.
Trial and error, and once we figure it out, I hope we don't ever lose another one.
Awesome.
But yeah, I mean, here we go. Oh,
Super cool.
We got the wild soft coral system up there.
Sure, check it out.
Yeah, really, might as well check out the frags. I mean, these are all chop shop frags, wild corals chopped up into pieces. We've got elegance coral frags here. We got zoanthid frags, acro frags, Monty frags, Duncans, the Recordias. Then we've got Lord frags here, which we can pause real quick. It'll come back on. Everybody's favorite, which is of course Fimberphilia and Euphilia. We've got, I don't even know, I couldn't even tell you. There's probably 300 or 400 Euphilia torch frags here. Another 200 or 300, 400 hammers and frog spawns and cristadas. We got Ghanies up here. This is, again, all of our aquacultured stuff that's here. So everything that we have a name, that we have lineage to us, goes in here. So we're not going to our farm systems and pulling stuff we're sending out. Wet hands from here are not good going in here.
Yeah, so you keep it separate.
All it takes is a drop.
Yep.
You know? Over here, we run, as you can see, and everybody knows, did you show them all my metal halides? Because I think there's...
you got a special blend of everything in here.
This tank here's probably got the most LEDs on it. All these Reef Bright LEDs are leaving the farm. They are gonna leave forever. They will never come back.
Never ever?
I put T5s up over there on that, took down the Reef Brights, put the T5s up. The corals responded so well. I invested in another 40 fixtures of T5 twin bulbs. We used the metal halides, the coral cares, and we're gonna have, what is that, 60 more tubes going up, 4 footers?
Yeah.
And there's already 16, there's 32 metal halides over this system alone. No, 34.
How crazy is your power bill, Chris?
What's my power bill?
How crazy is it?
It's actually, people can't believe my power bill because we have agricultural and commercial rates.
Yeah.
So,
so you're not bad.
In the worst time of the year with 72 metal halides and 180 T5s plus all the reef brights plus all the pumps, everything else, I don't know, I'm not afraid to say it, it's about $3,500 for the worst month of the year.
Not as bad as I thought.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a heck of a lot worse.
Yeah. Beauty.
It's the other parts that are the money pit.
Yeah.
You know? Maintaining my addiction of corals is a real problem. Yeah. I'm so glad I'm not addicted to drugs.
Well, at least you got something to show for it, coral, right?
Exactly. So we got, this is mainly, there's a lot of chalices in here, a lot of mushrooms and a lot of like stingy corals, like echinatas and pectinias. Yeah. They do really well in here. We just have a couple of reef bright strips over this with the metal halides running for 5 hours a day. We got Josh's Clearwater Scrubbers on here. It's just simple. There's not a single, okay, this is the sump.
Yeah.
I don't have a separate sump.
Quote unquote, another coral tank.
Yeah, you know, and then we got, what, 5 halides over this,
Yep.
a couple of Illumagics. I really like the Illumagics for some LPS corals and soft corals. They seem to really respond well to them. We got huge batch of rock flowers, all 100% aquacultured bubble tips.
Nice.
More hellfire anemones, some sea bay anemones, long tentacle anemones. That's not a hellfire. I forget the name of that one. It's even worse than a hellfire.
Really?
Like, if you get stung by that, you will cry.
Really?
I got stung by a hellfire right here and right here and right here, indirectly.
I will take your word on it.
You don't want to touch it. Gorgeous rock flowers.
Lots of beautiful rock flowers.
Man, I usually get rid of these all to one company at a shot.
Yeah.
And they said they didn't need them, and I sent them a picture of just 2 of them.
He's like, we need
Man,
them now.
I can't believe I didn't buy them. I'm like, you can still do it, but if I have to start selling out of them, then it goes up to regular price.
Yeah.
Take the whole lot. Tell me now.
How much for them all? Off the
A
record.
lot of money.
How crazy.
So back here, this was the tank that took the brunt of Hurricane Ian.
Yeah.
Because of our new flow way of doing flow. We didn't think about the repercussions of no flow for 3 full days. So all the water flow is coming from the closed loop and the return line, all across the bottom.
Okay.
Water's only this deep below the rack.
Yeah.
All went down, came back up. The flow was so slow coming back through that all the big colonies, interior, got no flow through them.
Oh, dang.
They didn't look bad at all. Flow came back on, everything was great. 2 days later, white.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I still have them all up there behind. I said to
That
my
hurts.
guys the other day, you got to just throw them away. I can't look at them anymore. It's been 6 months.
Yeah. Depressing after a certain point.
But we've been cleaning up the mess ever since. That's why there's a lot of smaller pieces in here now. A lot of the bigger pieces, they were, we got, well, Jake's Hardline Hokey, Jake's Tutualiensis, Jake's Immortal Tort, Jake's Toxic Florida.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more all over the place, you know, that we got from Jake that we ended up having to break down again. There's Jake's Branching Chalice, which is Echinopora horrida. So yeah, we got a lot of coral.
Yeah. Oh, so many.
And it's a shame that all those rainbow tenuis,
Yeah.
you can't tell that they're even in here because guess what? You gotta get close to see them.
Yeah.
I like something that you can see from across the freaking room.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, a good Slimer, a good freaking Toxic Florida, a big blue tort.
Oh, I know.
You know, that's
Big
the
and
stuff that gets
colorful.
me going.
Across the room, you're like, that's beautiful.
I spent $900 on this frag. Where's the color? Oh, I gotta get my magnifying glass
Yeah,
out.
I know it. But damn, it looks good in a macro photo.
Yep. I mean,
I know, it's funny. Yeah,
the
exactly.
ACI Pandora stands out from across
Oh,
the
yeah,
room.
exactly. Even
Guess
from
what?
here.
It's not a very popular coral.
You know what though? But from right here, like that's the one
Smoking.
that draws your attention the
It's
most.
so sweet, isn't it?
Yep.
It's like the ACI Plasma Blast and Acropora over
Yep.
there. Sold like hotcakes when we first put it on the market.
Yep.
Now somebody else has it. They bought it from me, and they call it the Tropicana.
Oh, I've seen a Tropicana. There's like some Santa's reindeer, some random name.
Came from me.
Oh, no
I got the
surprise.
first piece of it in the United States
I
from
believe
Vincent
it.
Chalice in 2020.
Yeah.
We've been growing it ever since. I've sold probably 500 frags of it,
Yeah.
and now I don't see any
I
Plasma
had that
Blast
one.
anywhere.
Good to know, probably came from you.
That red Rosaria is called the Cherry Blossom. Dope coral. Probably the reddest acro I've seen. But then again, I got some colonies of my big ones that didn't have any problems, and they made it. That's the Martian Manhunter. And then this guy right here. Somebody told me, well, I looked at the bottom of the tile, and we usually label them, and it said Voodoo Magic, but it ain't no Voodoo Magic to me. It's freaking orange.
Yeah.
Voodoo Magic's not orange.
Squammy.
Squamosa clam. We grew that from a clam this big.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Since,
How long ago is it that tiny?
it's either 2017 or 2018.
Yeah, yeah.
And then this is the Squamacina that we got in 2019. The way the skeleton grows.
Okay.
On Squamacina, on a Squamosa, you have the big scutes that stick out.
Yeah.
On a Squamacina, you have them as well, but they kind of pinch.
Okay.
So they're more like, almost like a tube versus this trough.
Yeah.
But it's like a long, skinny trough
Okay.
that doesn't actually pinch
Gotcha.
shut.
Okay.
It's really, really cool.
Very cool. So much nice eye candy here, Chris.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're able to make it here, Devin. It's glad to give you the tour, and hope you enjoyed it, man.
Awesome. Thanks so much for the tour.
No problem, buddy.